Hello, welcome to Collector RC. Alright, so as you can see here, we got the 24. We're at little bro's place on his little space he's got here for me for the workbench. Probably hear a dog in the background. It's not his dog, it's neighbor's dog. Alright, so we're going to do some new upgrades to this, and I'm going to show you here. So even though we do have the homemade kind of, or I should say the free upgrade style of, let me show you here. You can see inside there, maybe not, so we can tilt it. You can kind of see in there. Anyway, there you go, it's a little better. You can see the weights inside there. So I'm about to remove those because we're gonna go ahead and put these. We did independently measure them, not measure, we weighted them or checked their weights. They're 6.38 grams each. Going to install. And then we also have, and that's from RCLions, I believe. Yep, RCLions. And I'll end up putting a link if you're interested in those. And then we have some Treal, well, a Treal item here. And we've got quite a few items to be showing up. These are just the first two. So I've got new battery, we're going to replace the motor. We're going to get rid of that barrage motor in there and replace it with its original stock motor. A new one anyway. So we have, there we go. I don't know why the focus is so distorted here. Let's see if we can, yeah, there we go, it's a little better. Yeah, let's go the right way here. So you can see that. It's just an aluminum replacement for the underneath. The center. So I'm going to replace this here. And let me go again. Sorry, I'm having to hold my camera today because going to the Little Bros, my forgetfulness, I did not bring my stand. And I don't have anybody that can film at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and, there we go. So yeah, we're going to replace that. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and get into these tires here. You see the weights in there. We'll remove those. I'm going to weigh them out to see how much we're losing or gaining. You can see my other glued weights are added there. So all this will all be replaced. And we're going to do that in a few videos here because we want to bring them back and start driving them again, especially with winter coming around the corner. So some more indoor driving, more indoor course stuff, and we want to keep up to date with them. All right, so I'm going to set this up. And then we'll start working on it. Okay, so went ahead and did one tire already. Went ahead and took the my pellet weights out of there. There we go. And then went ahead and pulled another tire off. And then I'm going to show you a little bit. So you just have to make sure, zoom in here a little bit. So make sure you have to remove, let me see here. You need to remove this little hex plastic piece out of there that locks, little locker thing that goes for your, let me show here. There you go. For your pin. And make sure you don't lose your pin. It's right there. Kind of hard to see. I don't really want to touch it, so don't drop it. They do give you more pins, but I'm going to stick with the stock ones that are the same size. So anyway, but you also have to remember too that with my with this particular one, there are spacers underneath this here. And so what I'll do real quick is I'll go ahead and remove it, and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so yeah, went ahead and removed real quick. The speed of filming, editing. I'll remove the plastic, and you can see in here that I have this little yellow spacer in there, which just gives me a slight extension. I believe it's 1. It's like a +1, maybe +2. And this is for the free upgrade related videos, because this is just a piece of wire, a soft wire that I cut and then smashed in there to make it equal, and then had to keep kind of working with it to make sure that my wheels, my tires didn't wobble a lot, which ultimately they didn't. So, and I am going to leave those in there like I did with this one. That's why you can see that it's spaced out a little bit. Because I don't want to lose that, especially with having it lifted. you got to compensate. If you're going to lift and relocate your shocks to have a higher end truck, excuse me, you need to compensate, and we compensated with the weights, and then I compensated more with extending it a little bit to counter the gravitational effect of having a heavier top. So that's why ours works so well, is because we countered you have to counter certain things. If you want certain advantages, you have sacrifices. So to cancel the sacrifices, you find ways to counter them. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So anyway, so yeah, now what we'll do is we'll make sure this sits in here right. Well, that's right, forgot. It won't work. So next we'll actually go ahead and pull these out. And now remember, the adhesive I used on these was designed so that I could pull these right out, and they come right out. It's kind of like Elmer's glue, as you can see here, a little bit, it's still stuck. And it peels all the way out of there. They're super easy to take out. The adhesive just peels off the plastic, so there's not like super glue where you're gonna have to sand it in there, because these do fill up quite a bit of space. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll move on to the next stuff. Okay, so we got all the wheel weights on, or the brass things here. So let's see, we got the back ones on, got the front ones on, and one of the things I want to kind of explain real quick. So I had the wheel, the free extensions done in the back, but didn't do it in the front. Well, originally I did, but then removed them. And the reason being is that the front moves a little bit more, was a little bit more kind of free compared to the back. The back was a little more solid. And adding those in there made it a little bit more free. And so the steering wasn't as accurate as it should be without them. So but other than that, it's only like a +1, +2. So I mean, it's really not that much, and it just helps with the back support and kind of helps with having the body upper. Sorry, I apologize. The sun is giving our lighting today. So all right, now we're gonna go ahead and install the center transmission skid plate, whatever you want to call it. And then yeah, let's see, what do they call it? Let's see here. The skid plate. Yeah, skid plate. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one, the plastic one, which what I'll explain real quick, if you can see with the light on, with the sunlight here. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we have to remove this link, this link, this link, this link, this link, this one, and this one. And then we have to remove it from the chassis with the 2 screws in the sides here. This one here, these 2 here, and then 2 on this side. And then you need to remove these here, which would disconnect your transmission case on the other side, or your transmission, not just the case, but I guess the case too, whatever you want to call it. But it will disconnect your transmission here. So we will, like I said, I have the original stock motor. Well, not stock for this car, but the original motor. I went ahead and got the order replacement, which I should have that soon. So the barrage will be gone, since this one we think is burnt out. But lifetime wise, it gave about the same amount of life as the original stock motor. So and then ESC is something we may change as well later, because I think the ESC is slowly on its way out as well. So yeah, the servo, the Tower Pro servo, is doing great. Lights are great. Everything else is doing great. We will replace, I've got metal links coming in. I've got a metal transmission case, and I've got metal drive shafts that I'll be getting as well. So kind of going all metal. But yeah, let me go ahead and let's see here. Zoom out. Excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and then kind of show you, where I'm at there, and then we'll go ahead and install that. All right, so went ahead and took the skid plate, they call it, the plastic version. We took that off. We'll go ahead and put the metal one on. The transmission case, let's see here. Sorry about the lighting here. We're using the sun. Let's switch hands. So, oh, come here. It's actually quite difficult to do with. Anyway, so you can see here it's pretty clean in there, but I am, I'll end up testing it one more time to make sure it wasn't something weird, maybe wiring's bad or something, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the barrage motor there is burnout. But anyway, so to remove that, it's 15 screws. I'll show you here. It's all these guys. So a total of 15 screws to get them all out, to get that part removed. And then we're gonna go ahead and stick with the original because it's basically the same screws. So might as well keep the newer ones for other things or later usage. So yeah, we'll go ahead and put that new one on and then show you what it looks like afterwards. All right. Okay, so we got everything installed. You can see we have the part removed here. We end up putting the brass weighted or brass wheel weights, and then we put what they call the skid plate, but it's skid plate, center skid plate. And we went ahead and got the decals on there. As you can see, here we go. There. Yeah, still really dirty. I gotta clean it. But let's go ahead and flip this sucker over. Looks pretty sweet. It's really easy to install and remove. I mean, it's time consuming because you got to remove the 15 screws, but other than that, it fit very well. Looks really nice. I do recommend pointer here. When you're putting in these two screws here, you can see a little bit there on each side, go ahead and use the blue Loctite, because that's metal going into metal, so that's what holds that in place. And it does have the little pins that fit in as well. You can not see there because the sunlight, trust me, they're there. Maybe, nope, that didn't work either. But anyway, I think you can kind of see there. Then you can see the wheel weights. Oh, spin it around here. Those are all in. I did measure, I believe, the so let's see, the wheel weights are each 6.38 grams. The aluminum skid plate, I believe, was like 2.7, and the original plastic piece, that was under 1. It might have been like 1.1. But if you got a scale, you can always measure this stuff too. I measured it, I just didn't write it down, I don't remember. So it might be a little off, and I apologize for that. But anyway, yeah, so there is the replacement motor, the original one I'm going to put back in, or the motor that it's supposed to have. And then, then we'll drive it around, test it out. We have more metal that we're putting in. So as soon as that shows up, we'll go ahead and put that on video. But yeah, so stay tuned for more. And yeah, bringing this sucker back to life. All right, guys.